every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of our life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe. Your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of the Seacoast for Sunday, August 13th. For those of you who are present, thank you for being here. You'll be able to enjoy food with us later. And Barbara Whitney, our magnificent music director. And thank you to Barbara and the God Is You girls. Yeah, we're doing good today. And welcome new listeners. Thank you. If you've just found us for the first time today, hope you enjoy us and our message. And if you are here and have not yet silenced your cell phone, please do it now. We have the daily word for today is excitement. I am an active participant in this exciting life. Each new day, the sun rises on a world full of wonders. From the magnificence of the natural world to the many fascinating things there are to learn and the many displays of creativity that surround me, I can find so much to capture my interest and kindle my excitement. Can you do that with me? Sorry. Okay, thank you. When I shrink from life, when my interest in exploration wanes, I can lose my zeal and passion. My involvement is the key. To regain my excitement, I become an active participant in life. I break out of comfortable habits and routines. I try new things, meet new people. If this is intimidating, I remind myself that God is everywhere and in everyone. As I explore, I am opening myself to more and more of the divine. As my interest grows, a bigger world awaits me. Let everything that breathes praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Psalm 150, verse 6. Excitement. I am an active participant in this exciting life. At Unity of the Seacoast, we are on a mission, and we have a mission statement. If you would like to join me, please. We are a loving, nurturing community dedicated to being a positive path to spiritual to awaken oneness with God within us all. Thank you. And in my own life, sometimes I get frozen up and I cannot figure out what I'm supposed to do next or how to do it. And at the end of our daily word, it says, "Let everything that breathes praise the Lord." And when we breathe, we have the opportunity to bring in inspiration from outside to help awaken the self and the majesty of creation that's all around us and springs forth from us. So breath is immediate, and it can bring us into the present and show us what's next. We are a very active community here. We have a lot of things going on the first Monday of every month at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. We have a meditation. It's a spoken meditation. And next month will be meditation for the night watches. We broadcast live on our YouTube channel, and you can find us there by going through the search button on YouTube, or you can go to our website, unityoftheseacoast.org, where you will find magnificent little buttons you can press that will take you to YouTube, Facebook, or Meetup. Magnificent. Sometimes technology is helpful. So, and if you go to either our website or YouTube or Facebook, you can find an archive there of past talks, things we've done. So don't be shy. There's always something there you can look back on if you desire. And if you are thinking about how can I help this magnificent organization to continue their community outreach, also on our website, there's a button for where you can donate. It's called Tithely, and if you click on that button, it will lead you through the steps to take care of that. We appreciate it greatly. If you are, like me, inclined more towards paper, you could send a check to us at Unity of the Seacoast, McConnell Center, Suite 246, 61 Locust Street in beautiful downtown Dover, New Hampshire, 03820. And you can visit our meetup group, and that has pretty much whatever the upcoming events are. The Poets in Unity and the Music Circle are on vacation this month, so please don't come to them. And we'll look forward to seeing you next month, and we'll have the dates for those probably next week. And our game night has been moved to the third Friday of the month, and that is at 6:30. Game night is a time for us to get together and play card and board games and commune with one another in a hilarious fashion. So you don't have to be a member of Unity, and you're welcome to bring your own game if you'd like to try it out. We've got lots of cards and boards here, but we're open. And I would like to invite up Cynthia to speak with us for a moment about another event happening here soon.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for being here. I've been looking to share Course in Miracles to introduce my subject for quite a while. Just feeling that I wanted to share what I had found in it. In 2004, I was living in Florida and I was becalmed. I was stuck. And I saw A Course in Miracles. I've always been a person who believed in miracles all the way up from a child. And the miracles got me. I said, I wonder what that is. And I went into a session at that point with a wonderful woman called Joy Poulter, who I honor today as my mentor. She's now in the land of spirit. And wow, blew my mind. And I want to offer that to you. I'm still in it. I read it daily. I listen to Marianne Williams come across on my phone and hand me something to clarify my day, give me a little bit of a rudder to get through. And I thought, gee whiz, Unity is the perfect place for Course in Miracles because that's where I found it. And I'm going to hopefully open the door for that. I'm not going to say, I'm a facilitator. And I hope to be help to people who are looking for it. If this appeals to you, where's that camera? There? Oh, okay. If this appeals to you, please come and give it a listen. It is the voice of Jesus that has been channeled through Helen Schuckman and offers light. We're looking for light. We're looking for a way to find our way forward. It begins with this introduction. I will read this for you. This is a Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Get that? Required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. The course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. This course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And we will open every session with that. The time, of course, is crucial to all people. And we have landed on Thursdays at 10 o'clock here at Unity of the Seacoast. I promise that you'll be out by 12, hopefully 11:30. We'll see. Every session is unique unto itself, and every group of participants will take the time they need. We're here to be open and friendly to absolutely nothing but your presence needed. If you feel called to this, then you are called. If it goes by your head, okay too. This is, I taught for 30 years in high school, so I love holding up. This is the course. And don't let that scare you. We have a schedule and we have texts that you can come across here to borrow from us. So it's an invitation and love to anyone who feels called to this. It's also wonderful to be with people of a like mind. You leave a little shored up in your life. So I welcome anyone who wants to come. I'm excited about it, to use today's word. I feel every morning I start the day with Course in Miracles. It makes a huge difference in my life. Forgot that part. October 14th. Oh, no, September 14th. Forgive me, I'm a little unglued in time sometimes. And we wanted to get beyond Labor Day so everybody can finish their summers up in any way they wish. But it will be weekly. It will start on September 14th at 10 o'clock. And I imagine that's going to show up somewhere on the website so that you can check that out. I thought of making little handouts, like I used to do, but I thought, oh gosh, I guess no. September 14th, 10 o'clock, you are welcome to come and please do. Okay, I think that's all that I need to say. Thank you.
Thank you. The teachings of A Course in Miracles are well meshed with our Unity thinking, so we're looking forward to that. Next week, Tom will be discussing point of power. And right now in our service, we are going to participate in a point of power that we call Namaste, where we put our hands together in the prayer position and use the Sanskrit word Namaste as we bow slightly and look deeply into someone's eyes. And it means the light in me sees and honors the light in you. So please point. Namaste. And if you do that at home, you can sing Namaste, Namaste, every morning you greet me. If you want, nobody's going to require it. So next up, we'll welcome back the girls from God.
The breath of God.
The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. The grace of God is gracing me and resting in the grace of God. I know that all is well. The grace of God is gracing me and resting in the grace of God. I know that all is well. The love of God is loving me and resting in the love of God. I know that all is well. The love of God is loving me and resting in the love of God. I know that all is well. The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. I know that all is well. I know that all is well.
That's something, ain't it? Well, what can we say about Tom? Here he is.
Thank you. That's the perfect introduction. So good morning, everyone. Nice to see everyone. I finally remembered my thing. I brought this to the hospital with me when I was in there, so I kept forgetting to bring it back each week. So today, I'm going to talk about breath and breathing and the Sabbath. And I'm going to look at a couple sides to breath. The connection that it has to our inner self and the need for taking a breath. Our breath is a portal between the conscious and the subconscious. It's the most accessible portal that we have. We control our breath on a conscious level, but when we stop controlling our breath, the subconscious takes over and still we breathe. When we're born, something really amazing happens. We move from this enclosed, completely opposite environment, from being surrounded and immersed in water to this oxygen-rich environment or air. And when the most dramatic thing happens, the lungs, which have been idle the whole time, kicks in. No other organ really does that. The heart's been beating, the kidney's been functioning, the liver's been functioning. But the lung, as soon as it hits the air, it knows that it's breathed. The subconscious takes over. And it does it even before the child's aware that it can control its own breath. Our control develops later as we become more aware. And this is like the first portal that God gives us, whether you know it or not. In this moment, something greater than us is working here to give us life, to give us connection. You know, it's intelligent design. And I always shy away from saying the word intelligent because I don't like that label with God, because God is intelligence. It's not a characteristic. But we're meant to be connected. You know, we're connected to our mom in the womb. And then we're connected to the divine actively in our first breath. That connection's been going there always, but that first breath is that direct connection that we become aware of. And then we spend the rest of our lives seeking connection. You know, we're looking to be happy, to be loved. And in essence, we spend our lives seeking God. You know, my grandmother found that in Catholicism. My aunt found it in Judaism. Both of these women took every day to rest, to take a breath. My grandmother did her rosaries every day, and everything my aunt did, she turned into a prayer. Many of us don't realize that we're chasing God. We call it by other things. We're chasing happiness or bliss or contentment. We seek some kind of understanding. But as we grow, we become more aware of that which we are seeking, that which makes us happier, makes us feel better, a belonging, a contentment. And we each take our own path to try and get to this happiness. And we all take a different path. Some of the paths don't work out so well. Catholicism didn't work well for me, so I found alcoholism. It also did not work. But we each tried different unique things on our path trying to figure out stuff. And what we're striving for is wholeness. And it's hard to change when you're conditioned by the way you grew up or the way you strive to grab onto something. Especially if it's addiction, you really need to solve the underlying causes. But one of the things that inspires change is knowing that we have to take time to breathe. There's a void in every possible moment of our lives that we can just stop and breathe in and control our breath. And it begins to change our busy mind, or the monkey mind as they call it. And we need to press pause and take time to sort stuff out. We need to press pause often. I'm going to ask you each to breathe in and out. That simple little gesture, you're connecting with the subconscious. And that's the time of void where we perhaps can take those breaths. So there are seven days in the week, and the number 7 represents completeness. And that's kind of what the Sabbath is supposed to represent. But the Sabbath doesn't have to be a specific day. What it's telling you is to take time to live in the moment, to breathe, to sort things out. Honoring the Sabbath is about stepping back for a moment, to pause, to be whole, to reflect. And that's kind of honoring the Sabbath. In each ending, there's a pause or a new beginning. There's a moment, that when we pause, that we gather energy, and then when we release the energy, it's like a ball hitting a wall. In that 1 second, there is a gap as the ball goes from absorption to exertion. Some pauses are almost instant and some last. But we need to honor the pauses in our life to set ourselves up for our next step. I mean, how many times have we thought, I just need a minute? Or we said, I just need a minute. How many times have we wished we had that minute before we reacted and said the wrong thing? And the Sabbath is not about doing absolutely nothing. It's a reminder for us to live in each moment. It's not about a day. It's about taking time when you need it to stay connected. Because even on a Sabbath or any other day, we all have to do stuff that accomplishes stuff. We need meals. We need our daily events. We go to school. We go to church. EMTs still work. Stores are still open. So it's not really about the day. It's about finding time in your life to take a breath, to relax. I call it drop a little Sabbath into the moment. If you can't slow down to be present for yourself, you're never going to be completely present for others. I mean, so many times we'll watch people probably doing this now, check their clock while I'm talking, wondering what they got to do the rest of the day. What am I going to make for a meal? If we're having a conversation, the conversation is usually someone thinking, what am I going to say next, instead of taking a breath to listen to the conversation. But life is not meant to be lived like that. Life is meant to be savored and enjoy each moment. It's not meant to be rushed past. Ever look at a sunset? You have to watch the whole thing in its time. You can't rush it. You have to take the time to absorb it. And that's what you need to do with life. Life is going to flow and happen. But if you're always busy and you're not taking that breath, you're going to wind up missing so much of life. And you're not going to be in the moment, and you're not going to be present for others. So the Sabbath is taking that moment of void and turning it into breathing and going inside. It's a state of mind where we can absorb and silently process what we need. It's part of prayer, it's part of meditation. And if you don't have enough time to sit and relax, then sit and relax more till you create the time. Because we all need that. And there are times in our life that we always feel rushed. There's so much to accomplish. Like November through December. We're planning holidays, activities, baking, cooking, wrapping, visiting relatives. Making sure each person feels welcome, packages tracked and wrapped. New Year's, we make resolutions. We finish our year-ending goals. We plan next year's goals. And we also expect others to keep our pace. When in reality, we're only going to get done what we're going to get done. And what doesn't. It's not a big deal. Then comes spring, we start planning our summer, maybe prepare a garden, spring cleaning. Summertime gets so busy that it flies by. We plan our vacations and we fill it up with activity. And then you throw in your daily life, your work, or your obligations to family or friends, or to anything that you do. And we find out that we wear ourselves down and we're exhausted. People do this in retirement. How many people retire and then go, I can't believe how much stuff I do now? We have this God-given gift that's incorporated into our body. We need rest. Look at your animals. Dogs know how to do it. Cats know how to do it. They'll always find time to rest. They figured it out. Watch a nature show. You see a pride of lions. Half the time they're laying underneath a tree. Now we had a dog that would lay down and take a nap while it ate. He was missing part of his brain. I'd like to tell you that's a lie, but one day we're petting him and we realized half his skull had kind of atrophied. And it was a happy dog. He didn't know any better, but it explained a lot. But when you picture a happy person, do you picture someone who is always busy, always rushed? Or do you picture someone who's at peace, taking time to relax? The nice thing about relaxing is, hi Trace. You ever see that racing show, the cartoon with Penelope Pitstop, and they had that little dog that squeal laughed? That's it, yeah. So observing the Sabbath is taking time for spiritual unfoldment. Things get solved when you give it time to unfold. When you think, I need a minute to think about that, actually take the minute. Take a couple of days if you need it. I always say that when something happens, I take 3 days before acting or reacting, unless it's an emergency. You don't want to be in the middle of the road with a truck bearing down on you going, I got 3 days. But because a solution or a path to a solution will show up, take time in each moment to relax and to ponder. Because when you can step back and ponder, your mind relaxes and you're not picking up your first impression or the first scenario. How many times have we been caught with a bad scenario, a situation, and then later we talk to the person and realize, oh, I had it all wrong. And the other thing about it is if you don't sort out these things when you're awake, your mind's going to start sorting them out at 3 a.m. It's going to establish a connection. And these middle of night moments serve a purpose. They're telling you that there's stuff that you need to think about during the day. You need to reestablish on a deeper level your connection with God, reestablish a connection to yourself. The only thing that operates and works perpetually is God. God's always exact, always tireless. We, on the other hand, are not. Life's not meant to be a cycle of perpetual activity. And we like to tell ourselves, no, I can do it, I can do it. And our mind tells us to keep going. Our bosses tell us to keep going. I had a job selling cars, and their motto was, work your day off. And there was not a happy person there, including the owner. It was just unbelievable. And people did it. And you walk around, no one had a smile ever, except when they're closing the deal because they have to act like they're happy. But if you don't take time, it leads to some burnout. It leads to depression. It leads to illness. It's going to find its way out. And it's going to make you slow down and relax. And you'd rather have it on your terms than on the hospital's terms or your therapist's terms or whatever. And, so take the time. Every day is holy because every day is a God day. And we're connected in each moment. If we choose to be, we are, whether we know it or not, but we should choose to take the time to enjoy life. Observe the holiness of each moment. And how do we do this if we don't set aside time to reflect? We begin to condition our minds that it's okay to always be active, to be in that perpetual state of activity. And again, we engage in conversations where we're not present. We do our job sometimes when we're not present. Ever drive home and you haven't been present the whole time, and you get home and you go, whoa, I got here, but how? And, I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of this a lot. I'm sure everyone here is guilty of this. It's hard to sit and not think of doing something. I have it doubly bad because I've always been a physical person my whole life. So I spend much of the time right now studying and writing, not only for my sermons, but for other projects. But in the end, I think I did nothing because I didn't do anything physical. And I know I've done something. I know it's an illusion, but we've conditioned ourselves on what busyness means for each one of us. It's hard for people you get like this, and it's hard to wedge a quiet moment into their schedule. But if you think about where your life would be, one of the first things that comes to mind is just to be able to sit, to be able to relax. When we lived in Florida, we used to go see this singer named Cajero Doherty, and he had a song called Everyone Needs a Cozy Corner. And I think everyone does. They need that mental place that they can go to, a place where we can just breathe, where we can put our feet up, take a moment to relax. Cozy corner can be real. It could be a meditative place that you've made up. Mine's a green field with white flowers that come up knee-high, kind of like these behind me, although the one day they don't have flowers. Off in the distance, there's a stream, and there's a white fence. It's always 71 degrees. And I can shut my mind and go there and sit and be quiet. And that's where I meditate from. This is what honoring the Sabbath means. It means to take time to honor the quiet time, get rid of the busyness, to reset, to understand. We all do stuff on Sundays. We all work, and we told you all the stores are open. And for many, Sabbath can't fit into a Sunday because of their schedules. But we can all find a few minutes a day to step back. Sometimes we can do it for a whole day. Watch a movie, eat popcorn, maybe meditate in silence or read a book. Each one of us has these individual things that recharge us. It doesn't have to be as quiet as it can be. I used to sit by a turtle pond and watch the turtles. Other people can put on the loudest music and go right out. So whatever it is for you works for you. I know meditation works. We do it here, but take time to do it at home. It doesn't have to be long. I meditate 30 seconds at the gym before each time I do an exercise because it tells me what I can do, what I can't do. And I actually get stronger when I picture myself doing it before the lift. Athletes do that. They visualize what they're going to do long before they do it. So they have it clear in their head. Jesus always found time to breathe. He found time to pray. He found his quiet moments, and he talks about it when in Gethsemane, and it's part of our nature. It's part of divine law. Our body needs to shut down 8 hours a day to rest. It's part of our being, which was created by God. So in a sense, when we take time to rest and breathe, we're fulfilling a divine gift from God, allowing ourselves to recharge. We're shutting down the activity of the mind, and we wind up making room for the activity of God. And, we have these busy thoughts, these busy human thoughts, but God's activity is always happening within us, and this allows us time to sort it out, and it restores us on our path to a higher nature. Matthew 6:6. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou shalt shut the door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and the Father which seeth in secret shall reward greatly. He's telling you to take those quiet moments and sit and pray and meditate. We take these moments to cease activity and breathe. We're allowing God to work through us. We're reestablishing our connection to God. I said our body is designed to rest. And we need to do this. When we rest, especially at night, the neuropaths develop in our brain. So if you're focusing on something at night, the last thing that you focus on will be the one major thing that your neuropaths are trying to change. Like if I'm trying to learn a song on guitar and I can't learn it, if I practice it before I go to bed, by morning I get it. And it does this with every part of your life. If you're trying to break a habit, if you're trying to study something, whatever it is, if you take that moment before you go to sleep and then you rest for the whole night, your brain is responding to that. We have this God-given gift to rewire our brain to be what we want. It's like muscle memory. It just happens. Again, breathing is a direct link between our consciousness and subconsciousness. I'm going to ask you again to do me a favor and take a deep breath. And hold it. And exhale. And then when you stop doing that, notice your subconscious just picks up as soon as you stop. The subconscious mind will control the breath. As your activity increases, the subconscious mind will increase the breath or slow it down. And practice this. Practice doing this at home and controlling your breath. And then learn to meditate and get into the silence. For most of us, hearing God's voice does not come in the way of hearing an actual voice. It's a sense or a knowing. We get a feeling or a nudge. And it can be very subtle. Sometimes it's like a big 2x4 hitting you. But when our mind is always active, always in busy mode, we could easily miss what we're seeking. So we establish that breathing is a connection to God. But it also brings us back into the moment. It can align us. Square breathing slows down and helps people get out of panic attacks. It grounds us, breaks that fight or flight fear response that we have. People who shoot at targets know it's controlling your breath is the first thing you do. Pain management for many people begins with controlling your breath. When we focus on our breath, we begin to quiet the busy thoughts in our mind. And don't be discouraged if the thoughts pop in now and then. They're going to happen. It takes time. We have 70,000 thoughts per day that hit our mind on the average. So focusing on our breath begins the process of tuning those thoughts out. Say out of that 70, most of them are stuff that just stuff. We'll make a list in our head. We'll plan what we're going to do next week. We'll plan work. We'll plan a meal. We'll think about so much while we're sitting there in the quiet. And it almost gets stressful and worrisome. But develop a focused approach to breathing and allow those thoughts to come and go. I always picture myself walking down a road and a thought comes up and I just let it go by and I think, if I need you, I'll catch up. Each person has their own trick. And you're doing this for a connection to God, to fend off worries and stress, to aid yourself spiritually. And it sets your mind to handle things that come your way. If you're used to taking a breath, then when something big happens, you can automatically take that breath, let it out, and then, okay, I can work with this. Metaphysically, this is what Moses did when he went up to the mountain to hear God's voice. He had that nudge from the burning bush. He had that, what he saw as the words of God. It's what happened with Jacob when he lay his head on the rock. His whole story is meditation. Rest your head where your thoughts can go free. And it's there that he realized that he had a connection to speak with God. He visualized it as messenger. But if you read the Jacob story, it plays out like someone going to meditate. Life is meant to be savored. It's, stop and smell the roses. Unless you're allergic, but take time to savor, take time to breathe in the moment, and just slow down. So I'm going to turn this to a meditation and step away for a second.
I see the light of God within my soul. I hear the voice of God within my soul. I feel the breath of God within my soul. I know the love of God, and I am whole. I see the light of God within my soul. I hear the voice of God within my soul. I know the love of God, and I am whole. I see the light of God within my soul. I hear the voice of God within my soul. I feel the breath of God within my soul. I know the love of God, and I am whole.
So I'm going to ask everyone again to get comfortable. Kind of move around in your seat so that you know you're in a good, comfortable spot. Maybe your arms on your lap, your feet on the ground. And once you settle in, take a deep breath and a long exhale. Relax into the moment. Feel gravity kind of draw you into your chair. And we each have our own comfortable breathing pace. Try and develop that. Maybe on an exhale, ah, or ooh, or anything that feels comfortable. And if you have any bodily sensations, just take note of them. Be with your body. It served you well. And in this moment, we have nothing to do except notice our body. And begin by following your breath in each inhale and exhale. Don't change anything, just your natural rhythm. Notice the rise and fall of your abdomen. Feel the air pass through your nostrils or your mouth. And just be with your breath. If thoughts come up, let them pass and just come back to your breath. Now bring your attention to your feet. Just begin to notice your feet. They're rooted to the ground, to the earth beneath you. Sense that connection, sense that strong foundation, a deep connection to the earth. Imagine those roots lengthening as your body relaxes. Unwanted energy just drifts through your feet and out into the ground. And then to begin to notice your toes, your calves, your thighs, and what it feels like. Thoughts, feelings. Whatever you experience is perfect in the moment. If you don't notice anything, that's perfect as well. Just understand and notice what's happening in your lower body. And we move up along our torso. Center your attention on your abdomen. Your gut provides value information to you. Just be with your abdomen in a moment. Feel as whole and healthy. And just shift up a little word upwards toward your heart. If it helps, move your hand over your heart, allowing your heart to beat in its natural rhythm. And just notice the sensations that you have happening within your body. And again, if your mind wanders, just bring it back to its breath. And then shift your focus to the crown of your head. This is where all the thought, mind activity happens. It's open to the spaciousness of the sky above, where unlimited potential comes and leaves for you. Notice what you notice. Notice the peacefulness around you. Allow your body to just be completely relaxed. Maybe take a mental inventory of how you feel. I'm going to ask you to come back to me now and gently open your eyes and connect with your surroundings. Again, whatever you feel is you are meant to feel. So we do a prayer each week. The prayer for those we know and those we do not know. If you're at home and you feel like you want to write their name or the initials or just an emoji into the comment box, please do so. And if you're here, I used to ask people to speak out their names, but I realized many people don't want their names spoken out. So just hold whoever you're thinking of in the forefront of your mind and your heart. And behind me, there's a prayer box. If you're thinking of someone, just come up and write their name and put it in the box. And if you want to email me or message me if you're thinking of someone, or Charlie, we'll get it on the prayer list. And we pray here, we pray for 30 days. We send it to Unity, and they pray for 30 days. And I send it in weekly, so they got a lot of praying going on. Picture who you're picturing, picture loved ones, those you know, those you do not know. And picture them and affirm that they are whole and healthy and happy, that they are safe, that they are healing, whether they're our neighbors or people in another country, whether our local leaders or national leaders. Picture them whole, healthy, making right decisions. Picture everyone on a comfortable level where we all send love back and forth. We create this bond with the world that goes from here as a ripple outward. Let me give you a second just to think about those people and be thankful for those people who've come through fine. Again, we affirm their wholeness, their health, their happiness. And we think about ourselves too. For ourselves, wholeness, health, and happiness. And we do this knowing that there is one power, one presence in the universe. God, the good and great omnipresence. And so it is. Amen. We also do another prayer of tithes and offerings. And
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, dark sacred night. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. And I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
I'm going to ask you to, thanks, Bud. Place your right hand over your heart and repeat the prayer of tithes and offerings. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. And we'll end this with the prayer of protection. Awesome. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed. Thank you so much. Just join us for the peace song.
Thank you, Charlie.